The Global Latin Factor Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Global Latin Factor Podcast. The Global Latin Factor Podcast, where we talk about Latino everything. We're gonna work on that one. I'll have to get you on track.
All right.
DJ Vire in the house with me, help me with the podcast. So it's official, right? You joined the podcast.
Yeah,
right?
it's official.
We'll check on it because last time we didn't check on
Partner.
it. That's what had happened. That's what had happened last time. All right, check it out. So, as of the filming of the episode today, it is Friday the 13th.
Happy Friday the 13th.
What does it mean to you, really, as far as like Friday the 13th? Because everybody has their own different opinion about that.
It means I can get a really cheap tattoo today.
For $13, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, what, quarter size usually?
Yeah.
That's cool. What else? What does it mean to you? Doesn't it give you like a, without being Halloween, like a Halloween vibe?
Yeah, I think so because I've already had a bad day since I got up today.
I think 13. I like 13. 13 is beautiful. La M, 13 letter of the alphabet. I'm just kidding. We don't gangbang around here. We just, keep it cool. I'm wearing the hat too because we're gonna be exploring a lot of interesting things. So we are gonna get into talking about a little bit of, I guess you can say myths or legends, because of the day, Friday the 13th. So I looked up the date as to why people give it feel like it's bad juju. There was 12 disciples, so number 13 is kind of weird. Things like that.
Like black cats and don't break the mirror.
Yeah, all that. It falls into that thing for whatever reason. I like 13. I like Friday the 13th. I had a bad incident on Thursday the 13th, which I didn't like, and I remember that date. I got a DUI.
Oh
no, I didn't get a DUI. I got arrested.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember it. I was in New York. I was acting a fool. I was young. I was wilding out, really young. And so I was in the military. So some of my homies were like, because they were going to give me a breathalyzer. And they're like, oh, they're going to, because some of them were not of age at that time. So we're like, man, they're going to do a breathalyzer on us. We need to I heard if you put a penny under your tongue, it helped with the breathalyzer. And one of the homies swallowed the freaking penny. I swear he did. I was cracking up, but I was still kind of like not in the Don't drink and drive. Besides spilling it, I guarantee it's going to cost you a lot of money.
I bet that penny hurt.
It hurt. Over easily $15,000 and license, permits you have to get. Extra insurance, everything goes up. It's retarded. Don't do it. Get an Uber. Or if you don't have money enough to go out and get drunk, don't do it. Especially on a Friday the 13th, if you have that mentality. I think it's a mindset up too. Like if you already got in your mind that Friday the 13th is like a juju thing, like a bad juju,
then it's gonna happen.
Then you're already gonna put it out there. And things are gonna, whether you want it or not. And I know one time you didn't get upset with me, but I kept telling you, like, if you keep saying every time something happens to you, then usually it does. Like for example, whenever I know I'm running late to get somewhere, right? And if I start panicking and keep saying I'm gonna be late, I'm gonna be late, I'm gonna be late. But instead, and it works a good 80 to 85% of the time, I say I'm always on time. I'm always on time. I'm always on time. And it kind of calms me down a little bit. And I swear, for whatever reason, I get like green lights and traffic. There's not a lot of traffic, not one traffic jam. And then I feel like sometimes if something does happen, I feel like I needed to be late in case to avoid an accident or something like that. I'm a firm believer in that. So I try my best not to take tollways because I'm not going to pay double.
Yeah, I don't like paying.
And I'm going to leave with enough time. But if so happen to be that I'm cutting it kind of close, I will always say that I'm always making it on time. I'm always on time. And then if I don't make it, then no biggie. It's okay. Nothing's going to happen. But respect people's time. It so happened to be that you couldn't. It's all good. All right, so let's get into this one. Friday the 13th. We're going to talk about some legends.
Ooh, I'm scared.
And it's not Halloween, but we got some more for Halloween. When Halloween's around the corner, we're going to have some more because in the Latino community, there's a bunch. And today we're going to talk about La Llorona.
Dun, dun, dun.
La Llorona. What you know about La Llorona? What have you heard? What have you? Anybody told you anything about her? What do you know by yourself about her?
I've been told that she's really scary. She cries a lot, and people have seen her.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My tias, when that movie La Llorona came out, they were like, "No, I don't want to see it."
You know, things happen in that movie.
No.
Like the actors felt like her spirit, like her evil spirit was there.
She's real.
They really gave account that they're doing the filming and stuff. They felt some weird stuff. Weird things happen.
Oh, wow.
That was not like, and this is like most likely, I don't know where they filmed it, but wherever it was, it felt like they gave their own testament. Said like something happened. Like there was some weird stuff that was happening. We couldn't explain.
Oh, man.
That's crazy, right? Okay, so La Llorona, as far as what you said, is exactly what I knew before I started looking into it. I knew a little bit of what happened. Like they said, La Llorona is like this lady that cries, wears white, can't really see her face, and she drowned her kids, and she just, don't get around her. If you hear her cry, like run.
Run.
Like run.
Run for your life.
Okay, so there's about different versions, right? And some of them go all the way back to like Greek mythology and stuff like that. That's how crazy it is, right? So I feel like La Llorona is kind of like a mix of, how like if different people, like if I tell you something and then you tell the same, like the what's it called? The saying, like, what is that test called? What is it called?
Like the telephone.
Is that the telephone test? Where I tell you something and then you tell the next person and then whatever that test is. And then before you know, you get a totally different story. Like the last person.
Yeah.
I
did
think
that
it's
in
like
school.
that. I think it's like that. I think this story is like that. Like it started at one thing and then it became another. So first of all, the very first version that there's Xochitl, which was a indigenous person that married a rancher or a conquistador, and they had 2 kids. And the guy, because he was a conqueror, a rancher, back in the days they used to look at your status, right? If you were a conqueror, you got a little bit of money on you, and to be mixing with the indigenous people that are kind of seeing the lower class people, then it's not a good look. So he began wandering off, and before you know it, he got himself into another entanglement, and he had another relationship with another woman. So Xochitl saw him, and out of rage, she drowned her kids, and then she drowned herself.
Man.
So here's my logical thought: it's like, how can you drown yourself? You can't really. I don't know. I'll be like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's what happened. Or like she threw him in the river. The kids wandered. Like the river took them, and then she threw herself in the river, and then the river took her too.
And she couldn't get out.
And and that's it. And supposedly, once she got to purgatory, then they asked her, "Where are your kids?" And she's like, I don't know. I don't know. I killed them. I'm like, okay, well, you can't make it through. You can't make it to heaven. You have to stay in purgatory. So you know what purgatory is, right?
Yeah.
Purgatory is in the middle. Like you ain't going
Up
to
or
hell.
down.
You ain't going to heaven. You just stay. So my thing is, the kids were already probably, because they got killed by her mom. I'm pretty sure some of those were already. I think that the kids were already there, and of course she murdered her kids. So how can she make it to heaven if she killed her kids? She drowned her kids, and then because of that, now she wanders. And it's the same story in a different setting. The same thing. There's a lady named Maria. Same thing. She married a wealthy guy. The guy went off, and before you know it, is same thing, same story. Drowned her 3 kids. There's a story of 2 kids, and there's a story of 3 kids, and then same thing. She drowned herself, and now she wanders through eternity looking for her kids. And have you heard the cry? How does the cry sound? Like the Llorona cry. Have you ever heard it?
No.
You
How does
never
it go?
heard He goes, "I'm gonna do it,
Oh. I'm a back up.
well, I can't do it, and I need you to do it because it got to be a female. So we're gonna try to."
I'm not upset though. I'm fine.
What do you mean? Oh, you're not upset. I know that, but we're just gonna act. We're doing this voice acting here right now.
You can do
because
it.
I got my certificate and I'm official on Fishbowl. I'm a voiceover person. Thank you, Fishbowl.
I'll let you do it because you seem like you really want to do it.
So the cry goes like this, right? It goes, "Ay, mis hijos, ay," something like that. Try it. I need a higher pitch. I can't do it like you.
Try it higher.
All right, no.
I believe in you.
I know you do, but I
think
want
you
you
can
to
do
try it. Rock, paper, scissors. Ready? Here we go. Hey, she got me. Ay, mis hijos. Anyways, so there's videos on YouTube of somebody actually capturing her saying that. However, there's like 3 videos I've seen, and none of them sounded like, meaning somebody was fabricating the, yeah, exactly.
Fake news.
It was made up because otherwise it would have sounded exactly alike. I know it would have, and it sounds horrible and it's scary. And I'm pretty sure if you really heard it in real life, like your freaking hairs in the back of your spine, like they say it does, that would happen like 100%. I guarantee it. If you ever heard it, I'm pretty sure it'd be like nothing you ever heard in your life. You kind of sort of like I'm kind of pretending, but it wouldn't be nothing like that. Like literally, it would be something so spooky that you'll feel it in your bones. You'd be like, oh yeah, this is real. Like yeah, probably not. And okay, so here's another one, and even more like a story that goes even further back, all the way to the Aztecs.
There's a lot of stories.
For everybody that doesn't know, just like myself, I have like a tattoo of Huitzilopochtli, which is, they're not Aztec gods, right? Because gods are like a colonizer thing, like a Spaniard term. They didn't use that kind of terminology. They use like spirits or things like that, energies. So there was a lady that before the Spaniards got to the Aztecs, that they heard a spirit cry saying the same thing, mis hijos. And what they say was like, she was crying because she knew she can foretell that what was going to happen to the Aztecs whenever the Spaniards came, like murder, rape, all that, take land, things like that. So she was kind of sort of already foreseeing and crying for her present kids, even though they couldn't tell that was happening. And that's crazy, right? Yeah. Because they did do them like the Aztecs, even though I understand, the way technically, sacrificing somebody might not be the ideal thing to do at that time, but they seem to be living in peace. And again, they didn't have God; they have like spirits and things like that. So, that's one of the other theories that they have out there. And then there's this legendary lady called La Melinche. You know who that is? Have you ever heard of it?
Never have. Who is she?
So there's a couple of things about her. There's either she's La Melinche was a native lady that actually got acquainted with Hernan Cortez, which Hernan Cortez was one of the first conquerors to, begin conquering the Aztecs. So she got in with him and started interpreting. And they say La Melinche is actually one of the reasons why the Hernan Cortez and the Spaniards were even able to make it into the Aztec Empire.
Oh wow!
And not only that, but later on, she gave birth to Hernan Cortez's kid. So that's when they started making what they call mestizos. Mestizos, pretty much indigenous people and Spaniards. And jokes on her though, because Hernan Cortez took his kid and sent him to Spain to study and stuff. Took away his kid. So he could be like, kind of like she was the one that was crying about her kid too, like a symbolism, like.
I can see that.
But a lot of people see her as a traitor. La Malinche is like straight up traitor, like she straight up told them where to find everything, and then.
So she's a snitch.
Pretty much like a traitor, straight up traitor. So that's sad.
Dang. Because
back in the days, the Aztec, Mexico, all that Mexico City and all that, they used to have gold. Like you can walk outside and like stumble on some gold. That's how much gold there was in Mexico.
Where'd it go?
To Spain.
Let's go to Spain.
They took it all back. Yeah, they took a lot of that gold back. And so I was telling, I think I did one of the episodes, I was talking about how I feel like sometimes like our ancestors, like genes or trauma sometimes like are within us, because sometimes one time I was talking to somebody here and like I started getting like upset of that the Spaniards took our gold. Like they didn't take my gold though. I was been generations ago, right? But I feel like they took our stuff. Like they owe me something. Like F the Spaniards, whatever. I don't care.
That's how I feel when I get my taxes taken.
That's same. It's feeling.
Messed up.
Same feeling. That is so true. They doing it the same way, but they're not Spaniards, Uncle Sam. Anyways,
another story.
Taxes for another story. Okay, so here's another one that I was telling you that goes all the way even more back. So back in the days, they talking about back even in Hebrew mythology, they had something like that, like a lady that wept, And same thing. Oh, there was a Greek, even the Greek mythology, this lady. So Zeus, Zeus used to just, be messing around with all kinds of ladies, right? So one of the ladies he was messing, Hera, which is the wife of Zeus, saw that he was messing with this one lady. So Hera killed the kids. And this lady was supposed to be wandering for her kids too, like screaming for her kids because they killed her. Hera took them.
Man.
Yeah. So let me look at it. So La Llorona also bears resemblance to an ancient Greek tale of the demi-goddess Lamia, which is Hera, Zeus' wife, learned of his affair, Lamia, and her kid, Lamia, and killed all her children that were of Zeus because she was jealous. Hera. Man. I can see that. I can see that because I used to love Greek mythology. I don't remember seeing this stuff. I probably read it, but she was
how they everyone
though.
goes after the kids. Like they can't
I don't know
just
what they're gonna do.
Squash it out themselves. They have to go for the kids.
Especially, but hey, when they hurt you, you go for the throat. You want to make sure you remember.
Ruthless.
And what else more to you think about it? Like this lady messed with. Was I'm pretty sure it was Zeus's fault, anyways, but. Mess with her wife, like his husband. So all right, cool. You don't have kids? You ain't gonna have kids. I'm not ever gonna have. Think about it. So you have to go to eternity supposedly because they live forever, right? They are gods, and then you have to see these freaking kids' faces and remind you that your husband committed adultery with.
Just don't look at them.
Nah, I mean, again, I'm not justifying. I'm saying do it, but I see why people go literally kill the kids. I'm like, dang, that's messed up. It is kind of messed up.
That's really messed up.
It is. So even here in the States, even though the La Llorona legend, it goes from Mexico mostly and then South America. Now there's even stories here in the United States that has happened. Mostly in the South. Mostly in the South, you hear stories about people already seeing or hearing or having some kind of story appearances or seeing something. And okay, so maybe I need Carlos for this one. So that hasn't been a video that they got, right? Like a really good quality video. Is it because either they fabricated or because let's say you happen to capture some kind of spirit, wandering spirit, would the best camera be able to capture something definite that you're able to see like they painted, like a woman with a veil? No? Think so? Like a good quality, solid. Like let's say if we're we're from where you're at, we're about 6 feet apart, right? So from that, do you think it would be like a good solid quality, or because of the spirit, it would be distorted?
I think the only reason it'd be is because it's a low light situation, which cameras
don't do well in lights.
So if you're ghost hunting, it's obviously most likely going to be dark.
Yeah.
Darker sense.
Because all the stuff that I've seen on video, you kind of see like a weird blurry thing, which is it's late mostly, and yeah, that's when it usually happens too. She shows up late, after midnight.
Is that another one those superstitions that bad things happen around 3 a.m?
I don't know about 3 a.m, but I know after midnight she starts poking her head, and I'm like, I'm gone. That's why you be in there. And it used to be a scare tactic too, though. Remember del cucuy? I don't even know who the freaking cucuy is. First of all, I don't know who that fool is, but I'm scared. I used to be scared of him.
The boogeyman.
Okay, so first of all, I was born in Mexico, so when I got here when I was 11, I didn't know who the cucuy is, and then before you know it, they introduced the cucuy to me, and now I'm not only scared of the cucuy, but I'm freaking scared of the Llorona and the cucuy. I don't even know who he is. I don't know what's his story, but we're gonna Halloween. We'll probably touch up on him, but who the hell is this for? What does he do? What is he so bad?
What does he do for a living?
Straight up, who is he? What's his credential? Where he come from? Is he illegal? Was he here before Texas was Texas? I want to see his papers. I want to check his documentation.
Yeah, let me see some ID.
Be here. I'm just kidding. But anyways, yeah, I didn't know who El Cucuy was until I got here, and I'm like, what? Who is this guy? And then all of a sudden, I became scared. Because they used to say, one of my aunts used to say, yeah, you better, check under your bed for the cucuy. I'm like, what? Why? I already have the Llorona and all the other stuff. Why any more, guys? So anyways, we'll look into it, Cucuy. But there's California sightings, and I'm pretty sure Texas and southern states that have Venezuela. There's another place that La Llorona is like has a history of. Man, it's crazy. What do you think of La Llorona?
I always thought she just stayed in Mexico. I didn't think she'd come up here. Guess I gotta move to Canada.
What do you think about it, right? If they're spirits, they have no borders. They can wander anywhere.
You sure about that?
How do you know? We got the other mic right there. What do you mean,
Some spirits
Carlos?
are tied to items.
And then I think the other thing
Like
too.
Annabelle. Annabelle's perfect example.
Oh,
It's
like
tied to the
Annabelle.
doll. You can't go everywhere. It's bound to the doll.
So how do you explain sightings in Mexico, Venezuela, and out here?
Everything.
Huh?
I would think it's something similar. Or just they're generalizing spirits.
If it's a spirit, like a wandering spirit.
Imagine all the mothers that die traumatically with their children.
Okay, here's my thought. Okay. I said okay like 3 or 4 times. But okay. Check it out. This is what I think it is, right? Like the mediums or whatever, I'm not a big fan of them. But what I said before is like whenever you supposedly, and I heard this somewhere, you die, eventually you come to realization that you die, right? So you give to the process that you're already gone, you know? But some of these people don't give to that and they don't want to let go of it, and they stay.
Oh, because they're not ready to
Wondering
go.
because they're not ready to go for whatever reason. Or maybe they just don't want to surrender to the fact that they're already dead. It's just, that's it. And those are the ones that wander around at times. Now, I feel like there is some people that are in tune with certain things within them that I don't know how to explain it, that they are able to see these people. They are able to see more, because it doesn't happen to everybody, honestly. I'm so happy and grateful it doesn't happen to me, because I don't want to be seen as wandering spirits and this and like. I don't want to see that.
I've seen
don't.
a couple.
Again, maybe you got that, whatever it is that they have.
I don't want it.
Again, I don't know what it is, but I feel there's only certain people with whatever reason they are given this thing that you are able to look at this, and then certain people are not. And then honestly, it's not that I don't want to. I'm cool with not like experienced it. I'm all right with it. It so happened to be, I don't know, like, you know, I seen some stuff, like being a war and everything. Like I seen some stuff, and I don't know how I would react besides pull my phone out and start filming, and hopefully I get a good one and go viral. So I don't have to have to work no more. But I feel that's what happens to these people, these spirits, and it's spirits. So technically, they don't have a boundary. So maybe they do stick around areas that they recognize. But how many people live in? Don't even go and wander around to another town or country. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't ever leave their own little neighborhood. Yeah. So that's another thing. Like they don't know that there's like within spirits, they're already so used to an area. So, but maybe like you're gonna start traveling. And supposedly
she got her passport.
One of the movies, supposedly she was like a hitchhiker or something like that. She got on her car like a scary hitchhiker. Like no,
hey,
first
thanks,
of all,
I'll walk.
And yeah, another thing about hitchhikers. I'm sorry. I know you're walking around in the road and everything, but I just be the type that I wouldn't be. Like,
I would just stay home.
People. Yeah. All right. So moving on to the next one. The next one. This time we are going to talk about another very, very scary individual. Ooh. El CATRIN. Did I sound like Batman for real? Walt Disney, if you need a voiceover, holler. I got my certificate ready to send it over. Shout out to Fishbowl. Board operator Jamie, you can't say I didn't say Fishbowl a few times already too. So make sure you relay the message that, you know. And I got my certificate. Oh, anyway, it's an insider joke. Sorry about that. We'll fill you in later. Okay, so El CATRIN. What do you know about El CATRIN besides the loteria?
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Got you.
You're like bingo, uno.
That's all you know about El CATRIN?
Yeah, he's in La Loteria. That's it.
Okay, so here's he dresses nice. So El CATRIN was like a name that they were given to the Spaniards for dressing really fancy, like a suit, like real dressed out, like Pachuco type, but not really. More back in the days, like real nice with the cane, with the suit, with the tail and everything, and that's what they call Catrines, right? So they give him like a nickname. The people did. Está bien CATRIN.
You should dress like that one day.
The CATRIN?
Yeah.
Halloween maybe. Hey, Halloween.
We're
Close
gonna
to
dress
Halloween,
up.
we're gonna dress up.
Yeah.
We're gonna dress.
It'll
up
be a
for Halloween.
surprise.
If something doesn't happen in my personal life outside of the podcast, yes, we'll dress up.
I'll be like Llorona.
Yeah, and I'll be the CATRIN. Boom.
Boom.
Doing it. All right. So, El CATRIN was a guy that dressed, again, that's just the nickname that they give him. It was really fancy guy. He fell in love with this one girl. And he used to travel a lot, but this girl was so beautiful to him. And he fell in love with her, and he started becoming really possessive, and she started not to like it. So even when he left, he became real jealous. So one time, it's pretty much the same story for him all over. Oh, there's a couple of different stories. The ending, mostly. So he came trying to propose to the girl, and the parents loved the guy. You know, he's well off. He had money. He dressed nice, going out in the world, doing his thing. So he came back trying to propose, even though the dad and the mom liked him so much. He said, "It's not up to us. It's up to her." Mm-hmm. And then she already seen all the red flags. She seen all the red flags. Is like, nope. And he said, "Okay, that's fine. Let's go outside and talk for a bit." And then went outside and talked for a bit, and guess what happened?
What did they talk about?
He killed her.
Híjole.
He killed her. So the dad heard some noise, commotion, goes outside. He sees a puddle of blood, and she's dead. And dude took off. Now, back in the days, even from the little town that I am in Mexico, years ago, I don't think they do it anymore, but they be known to take justice up in their own hand, meaning that if you're caught doing something like bad, then they don't wait for the cops to come. They just kill you right there too, you know? So it's obvious that he killed the girl.
Yeah.
The town got together, got him, and there's different stories that they beat him or they hung him.
But they killed him.
Too. Oh. Yeah. And now, because of that, his spirit wanders too, for the same reason. And then there's another reference that he's like, kind of like, is the devil.
Well, he sounds like it.
He sounds like it. Like he's like another way or another form that the devil dresses sometimes. So funny story. Both of these guys, my family ran into. That's why I know I believe that they're real. Like,
so your family.
I never ran into them. I don't want to, but I know my family has seen both. My dad, when he was younger, and I know he wouldn't lie to me, was with my grandma. And my dad said he tried to look at his face because they were like, so where we live, there's like we have to cross a bridge and there's like this, like I don't know what, this big drop off, right? So we got to cross to get to our home. And there's water that passes like a little dam or whatever, like a bridge. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, this freaking area has always been known for something. So one time, I think they went to look for my grandpa, you know, because my grandpa liked to party. So they went to look for him, and they were coming back, my grandma, and go home. And it was my dad and my grandma. He was little. And then he said they saw this figure standing, like, you can, on your peripheral, you can see it. And he was standing right there. And my grandma's like, just keep walking, don't look at him. And then my grandma was praying, and my dad was trying to, you know, like a little chiquito, like curious, trying to look at him. He said every time he tried to look, he'll turn his head away. He'll turn his head away so he won't see his face. So he couldn't ever see his face. And then there's another relative of mine. So La Llorona supposedly targets kids, takes their soul. That's the reason why she's scary. And that's the reason why the moms tell the kids, you better behave or La Llorona's going to get you, because it's kind of like a scare tactic. But at the same time, that's supposedly what she does, take your soul. And then not only does she targets kids, but she also targets men that committed infidelities for whatever reason. and drunks.
And drunks.
I don't know. I think most people that be drunk,
I better
they
stop
be
drinking.
like have more courage. And abusive parents supposedly too, and it's understandable. Well, she kind of like a hypocrite. I'm just saying, Llorona. I'm just saying, just looking it from the outside. Don't come at me. This is what I see.
She's gonna come for you.
Because she killed her kids. She drowned her kids.
Call her a hypocrite.
And then now all of a sudden, like, you know, she's targeting. And this is just something that somebody said. I don't know if it's true or not. But she supposedly people that abuse kids. So I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of weird. You kill your kids.
That can't be true.
Probably not. But I know. So my other relative, if I'm not mistaken, it was my one of my uncles or one of my grandpa too. That they followed this lady that kept saying, come and follow her. And then he couldn't ever see her face. And they kept like going. And before you know it, something snapped. And before you know it, they were hanging from a cliff. Like, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's great too. And I believe him too. I believe him. Because there's no reason to lie. And because I just know it happened. I don't know. I'm glad it didn't happen to me, but I'm just saying.
You know, I've heard that a lot of sightings are like they happen in Mexico. Because my mom, she's seen something too. And then my cousins. I'm like, everyone, when they were in Mexico, everybody saw something. But here it's kind of rare.
I wonder what it is. I wonder what is it about Mexico because
It was La Tierra.
I feel it has. I feel it has something to do with that. Like all the bad stuff
violence.
that happened. Yeah, that happened to they did them bad. It's like I know it's past my time. And I know it's past the years, like we talking about generations, like hundreds of years ago that it happened, right? But it's still, like, just to think that, like, whenever you go to the Trade Center, like in New York, there's some weird kind of vibe. I've been there before they started building the new monument, like 2005. And kind of like if you were to see the Llorona with your hairs.
That's how it felt.
That's how it felt. Like some kind of, I don't know. I can't even describe it. And I'm not into this all energy, this and that. I know people say that. But when I felt some weird stuff, like you can feel it. Some coldness. Some, I don't know. Like you can almost, I'm gonna say hear, but you can like kind of sort of like feel the pain and things that happen, you know? And it's so weird to say, but if you've never been to there, like if you've never been to the 9/11 sighting, like go to it and you'll be able to know what I'm talking about. Like, and I asked my mom because my mom recently went, and my dad, and I told him, "Did y'all feel that stuff?" And like, yo, and they're super religious, and even then, but they feel it. They can really feel what I was talking about. There's some weird, like pain and suffering and cold, but even though it's not cold, and just I don't know. I wish I could put it in words as what it feels like, but it's just strange. And I would feel like if I ever saw the Llorona, CATRIN, I feel exactly like that too. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to continue with this Friday the 13th edition with one of the, if there was ever one of the directors that you can see which one can really capture the Friday the 13th or has this type of movies, then it will be this guy right here. Have you ever heard of
Guillermo del Toro?
Have you ever heard of him before?
Yes.
Yeah?
I love his movies.
You love his movies. Yes. Which one do you love the most?
I can't pick, but if I did, probably Crimson Peak.
You know which one? I haven't seen. I've seen some of them, but I can't remember all. But the Labyrinth, what's it called? Pan's Labyrinth. That movie was so freaking good. Have you never seen this on Netflix? Man, check it out. It is like this dude really like captures like if a movie was to represent like Friday the 13th, his movies, like his director, he would be the one. Like, and I'm surprised he has. I'm pretty sure he has it on his back of his mind to do, some type of movie like that. But man, he does like this stuff.
Yeah.
Funny fact about him. A fun fact about him. His dad won the lottery supposedly.
How much?
I don't know. But his dad got kidnapped, and that's the reason why he fled Mexico too. All right, so let me go ahead and just give you the basics of him before we move on to start talking about him. So Guillermo del Toro Gomez, he was a Mexican, born in October 9, 1964. Again, Mexican filmmaker, actor, artist, makeup artist, and he best known for his Academy Award-winning fantastic film Pan's Labyrinth and The Shape of Water, which I haven't seen, and also winning an Oscar for Best Director and Best Picture for that. So it's a Mexican actor, actor and director. That's so cool, you know?
That's awesome.
That's freaking awesome to know that there's a Mexicano out there that continue to do some amazing movies, and his style is like dark with some, like, first of all, he used to read all those kinds of books, but he just liked it. He liked all that. And he began one of the first ones to start doing like special effects type of makeup and stuff like that in Mexico. So that's how he got into doing all the makeup and things like that. So
Nice.
that's crazy. I haven't seen some of his movies. Which ones have you seen so far?
I've seen The Book of Life, The Devil's Backbone. That was pretty.
I heard that one was pretty good too.
was
Just the
pretty
title
good.
itself.
Yeah.
Just by the title, right? Devil's Backbone. All right, what else?
Let me think. The Hobbit film series.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
so,
his movies are good.
yeah. And
Yeah.
you know what? Before I started looking into him, I didn't realize how many of the movies that we see every day he's been involved or his name's been mentioned, and like to be part or, you know, have conversations. I like the Hellboy series. He did both. The Hellboy series, I like those. I like Blade 2.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
another one. So we have Devil's Backbone, Hollywood 10 Poles. I don't know about that one. Mimic, Blade 2, Hellboy 1 and 2, Pacific Rim. I heard that one was good too. Crimson Peak. That's another one. And he worked with The Orphanage. That's another one. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, 2010. And I think he had something to do with The Hobbit series. I don't know if he actually had something to do or he didn't, but he did. The Book of Life. And again, Pacific Rim Uprising and Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
I want to see that one.
I want to see all of them. It'll be nice to know. To see more, because I like Pan's Labyrinth. It's so freaking well put together. For whatever reason, he has like he likes Spaniard history, like Civil War and things like that. I don't know why. He likes to go back to that era. And I'm telling you is that our descendants, bloods run through our some kind of DNA information. So, as I was mentioning earlier, I feel like not only do we carry our ancestors' DNA somehow, like our like pains and things, traumas and things like that, but certain other things like that, like I feel like those are the reasons why we get deja vu. Like why we have deja vus, because it's like we talking about small little information, like DNA's information, right? So it's like little bitty things that come up, and all of a sudden, like one day, a neuron just pops up, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, I remember doing this, but not really. It was probably like your great grand cousin or something. I'm just saying. You don't think so? You think it's possible there are DNA is information, right? That's all it is, right? And it's one of the most perfect way to carry the information over and over and over. So it doesn't wash off. It just gets passed on from generation to generation over. We talking about many years.
I could see that because I get deja vu a lot.
You do?
I'm like,
Of
I feel like I've done this, but I know I haven't.
like, do you feel like this time period or maybe somewhere else, like that you've done it?
I think
You know what I
somewhere
mean?
else.
I don't think we know enough about DNA, but another theory of mine is that our DNA, even the traumas and the history, some of those things really do exist within us still. And there's a reason why sometimes we're not able to. There's meditations that they take you back to do. It's not recession meditation, but it takes you back to your ancestors so we can cleanse some of the stuff off of them, like of traumas that they went through, like things like that.
Does it work?
I done it. I cried a couple times doing meditation like that because I don't know all of them. So you do is so real quickly. So what you do is you see your relatives up to you what you remember, and then every one other you just kind of sort of imagine, and you just kind of sort of let them know that it's okay, and you cover them with a white cloth within your head, and then you just keep advancing as far as you can. I cried one time doing that. I don't know why. I just, for whatever reason, one of them, it felt like they needed that. You know, they felt to be told that they're okay and it was over, and you know. Sounds weird, right? I sound like I'm part of Friday the 13th, but it works. I mean, I don't know if it worked, but I feel relieved. You know what I mean? So why doing certain things like that?
Weight off your shoulder?
Kind of like that. And you know what I mean? They kind of did something. Like I didn't, sometimes I'm not a true believer of certain things, but I'm like, oh, let me just try it. Sounds kind of logical for me. And I did it, and I've wear something like, I don't know, I've lived it.
So do you go in with like an open mind when you do it?
I do a lot of meditation.
You don't expect like
not a lot of
anything
times,
to happen?
Nope. Sometimes things like that, I didn't expect that I was going to be crying and sobbing.
I'd be out there with my...
Yeah. I'm for real. And it happened. And I was like, okay, well. And then I've tried a couple of times, nothing happened. And then I tried, and it happened again. So, you know, just gotta continue to do it. I really think like our ancestors' traumas and things like that within ourselves, like even, I don't know, within the cell or the DNA, you can, I don't know, I guess somehow communicate and let them know that it's not traumatic anymore, that they can move on from it. I sound like Friday the 13th.
We have it so easy.
We honestly do. We have first world problems. We really do. Do you think anybody out there that's trying to find a meal that haven't ate in 2 days are worried about Facebook posting or their vaccine or Twitter or Instagram, or that they're not getting paid much in their job, or that they haven't slept? They haven't eaten in a couple of days. Their only concern is to get some food in their bellies. That's it. We have first world problems mostly. We really do. We don't realize how good we have it.
Yeah, now a lot of problems that I hear about are, oh, I saw this on Facebook. Oh, I saw this on Instagram. That's all.
But is it a real problem though?
Nope.
Exactly. Compared to
what it never ends.
Compared to what the things that maybe some of our ancestors used to go through, you know? Like we talking about people that went through the Holocaust. We're talking about even the Aztecs, that people they just murdered them. They didn't give them an option. They just killed them. Or some illness that they passed on to them. We talking about like even the indigenous people here in the Americas, same thing. You know how many millions they killed?
A lot.
The Trail of Tears. So we have it so easy. It's not even funny that I know what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But at the same time, compared to everything else that's going around, we really have it really made, you know? We have hardly ever do we have to worry about putting food in our belly. Hardly ever do we have to have about having shelter. You know, we have vehicles, your own vehicle.
Now vehicles that drive themselves.
Vehicles that drive themselves. But I posted the other day because I heard it from one of the guys that I listen to often. It's called, his name is Sadhguru, that anytime we are our stomach empty, one problem, which is finding food. Stomach full, lots of problems. You know, like our mind just opens up because we have our stomach full that we can just think of, have the ability. You know what they do in South Korea, or which is the one that's with the dictator? South Korea or North Korea? Is it North Korea? I keep saying South. My bad. South Korea. My apologies. North Korea, right? You know what the dictator dude does to him? He keeps him hungry. Because if you keep him hungry, you can't have him think more than just trying to get a meal, you know?
Wow.
That's a strategy. That's done on purpose for the same reason. That's cruel, right? And that's happening right
really
now.
Cruel.
That's happening like literally right at this moment. People in North Korea are going hungry. Kids are eating rats and things like that for the same reason. I swear, for the same reason. There's a Joe Rogan podcast with this lady that interviewed this escape. But I guarantee you to this day, it still has not gone away. But a lot of people don't talk about it for the same reason that the reason why they don't talk about it is because it's not beneficial, because China is involved and China moves a lot of products and things like that, and they're world power. So why would you want to talk about North Korea and the dictator that they have, having people going hungry for the same reason if they hungry, they can't think. You can't think about being great or exceeding or succeeding or going anywhere else if you're hungry, you know?
Yeah.
You're just worried about eating, literally. And that's it. And it keeps them often hungry for the same reason. We have it easy. That dude tells them when to get up, where to go to work. Like, straight up.
Just like a dictator.
Like, and if he walks into, the lady was saying on the interview that if he walks into if your house is burning, the dictator's picture, you better run with it out. Because if he gets burned, you're probably going to get killed or go to jail. If
serious?
they go to houses to do inspections, if they find a speck of dust in his picture, they'll either beat you or put you in jail.
They do that?
Yes, 100%. Things like that. And it happening right freaking now.
Man, I had
We
no
complain
idea.
about I'm not saying you, in general, myself included. I was complaining earlier about something. Like, it's stupid. Like, that's why I laugh. Like, if it happens, oh well, it's not a big deal because compared to everything that everybody goes through as far as suffering, man, I have it easy. I have it so easy, not even funny. All right. Moving on from this traumatic, and I think it's all within the theme of Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me where he went to school at.
He went to school. He did filmmaking at the University of Guadalajara.
Guadalajara.
Yeah.
Jalisco. You ever been? You ever want to go over there? Guadalajara?
I don't think I've
That's
been.
where tequila was made.
Maybe that's why I haven't been.
Yeah. Don't go. They have tours supposedly. Guadalajara, where they take you around and they get you.
Do they give samples?
They get you samples of the real stuff too, not all this stuff. One of these days, I'm gonna talk about tequila and the tequila problem that we have. Not only the consumption that we have as far as Latinos, but what are they doing to the tequila industry? It's traumatic, kind of like this Friday the 13th episode. But I'm gonna save it for another time because it does happen and it's horrible what they're doing to Blue Agave and all these freaking celebrity tequilas that I would never drink ever. Not to mention I stopped drinking, but I ain't never buying them or giving them $1.
Not even for P. Diddy?
Not even for nobody. Not even for nobody. And then the ones that I would, for whatever reason I want to buy a bottle, will be somebody that is locally. You know that distilleries, there's only so many main. So first of all, tequila is from Jalisco, and they can only make it there. It's like law. Like there's the only place it comes out of, and it's made out of blue agave. And this is the only area that tequila, you can't go outside of the state of Mexico and name tequila. You can't go to Guanajuato and name it a tequila because it's illegal and you can't do it. So you only make it from there, right? So there's only a few distilleries available. So all these celebrity tequilas that go over there, they only come from like a handful of places. Even though they're put the name and label, they add preservatives, and most of them are just from a couple of distilleries that make the tequila. So technically they are selling you the same stuff, but they just add extra stuff to it to make it look the coloring different, the pretty bottle and everything. Yeah.
That's
I
interesting.
ain't never buying no Kylie, whatever her face is. Man, get out of here.
She has one.
Yeah. And they put her on a horse just to make her look more.
No, hombre.
That's sad. Girl, that's sad. I'm sorry, bro. They put her on a horse to make her in a hat to make her look more Latina or more Mexican. Bruh. When she makes tortillas on the comal and she spends like goes and cuts the agave literally for like a month and then she eats off the food over there, maybe I believe her. But bro, they're a joke.
Yeah, plus she's Armenian too.
I don't care what she's from. She's not even Mexican. That's irrelevant to the point. I'm glad that they're exporting something, but at the same time, they're diluting the precious. Well, it's not really precious because I really am against drinking too and the way that we do and party and stuff, but that's another
You
story.
weren't against it like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I wasn't. Not
Nope.
even. True story. True story.
Couple years.
I am a hypocrite. Say it. Say it to my face. It's okay. I'm
You
all with it.
hypocrite.
Hey, I'm all for it. I'm good. I'm good with it. I ain't taking no insult for it because it's true. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I got photos.
Yeah.
I'm
Do you?
kidding. No.
For real?
Maybe
If
maybe
you do, let
Facebook
me
does.
see. Never post stupid stuff on social media like that. Well, maybe once or twice. Anyways, moving on. All right. So now that we talked about all these dark and traumatic things, and we already scare you to look under your bed for La Llorona, El Cucuy, El CATRIN, and then we already gave you something to look at on Netflix or anything else. Calm down. We're gonna make you dance today. Cumbia. We're
That's
gonna
what
talk
I
a
like.
little bit more light. I'll take you off the scare factor. What do you like about cumbia? What you know about cumbia?
What I like is that it's really like a live genre. Like that genre, will get people up and dancing no matter what. They're
Yeah.
drunk or sober.
Yeah, that's true. We seen it last weekend. When I watched DJ put that Selena, it was over. Woo.
Selena forever.
Washing machine. Washing machine all the time.
La
All right.
reina de la cumbia.
That's what they say, but well, they say la reina del tejano, which I think is more reina de
I
cumbia
think she's both.
than tejano.
She's la reina. They're both.
I'm not gonna fight you over it. Sure, whatever you say, DJ Vara. All right, so cumbia. So tell me a little bit where it came from or the origin of cumbia.
Cumbia, just like Colombia, it's a blend between European, African, and indigenous cultures. So it was born on Colombia's Caribbean coast, where
Yep.
it was originally an African courtship dance that evolved with the addition of African, European, and indigenous instruments and indigenous dance steps.
Yep. So
Yeah.
just like salsa that we talked about before, it has all those same elements, right? African from the slaves that were brought in, to indigenous people that are already there, to Spaniards. So all that blend of everything, they made it together and created this, and it keeps evolving, right? It's not just like a regular traditional stuff, because some of the traditional instruments that you have, like the flute, that is like a indigenous flute, they don't do it hardly ever anymore. Use it.
Yeah.
They replace it with either the saxophone, the accordion, or something different.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the videos from like where it originated from.
Yeah.
It sounds nothing like
Nothing.
what it is
But-
now.
But the
Nada.
beat, the bass is always the same. The bass is
Yeah.
always, you can speed it up or you can slow it down, but the little thump, it's always gonna be the same.
I think back then, like all the instruments were more simple and
Yeah.
it just sounded like more. You could hear every little thing, and now it's just all like
Well,
together.
all those instruments were natural. They were from nature. They got like a flute made out of like this pipe thing, and the drums from the whatever animal that they used it from. So all those were like instruments from nature. So it gives you a different vibe and a different sound and I feel like a different vibration and a different type of energy whenever you hear sounds like that.
Yeah.
So, okay, funny story. Supposedly, so again, it was mostly indigenous and started in Colombia, started spreading. But then there's a funny story. This guy had the native flute. Supposedly, there's two stories, right? How the accordion came to be a part of it. That one of them is that he traded his flute for one of the accordions because he liked the way that it sounded. And then the other one is that a ship was going to Argentina carrying a bunch of accordions, and they had an accident, and it was shipwrecked, and all those were washed ashore close to Colombia, and then people just
free accordion.
free
You get an
accordions.
accordion.
You get
an accordion.
You get an accordion, exactly. Either way, accordion came to be part of it, and it makes I like the accordion. To me is one of my favorite instruments. I don't know how they
Me
play it or
too.
whatever, but I enjoy the accordion.
My dad, this is a cool story that I've always liked. Ever since growing up, since the 90s, I think even the 80s probably, he had a best friend, Luis Osuna, who played the accordion.
Right.
I don't remember how exactly they met, but they were friends for a long, long time. And pretty much a two-person band. Other times there'd
What
be
was their
other-
name? They have a band name?
Oh, no.
No?
No, it was just them two. But anytime people saw my dad and his best friend,
That's
oh,
cool.
you know it was going to be a party.
Look at you, music in the blood.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then it said about accordion, right? So it's supposed to be like so the people that dance salsa and the people that dance bachata kind of sort of see like cumbia is like a lower tier type of dance, but
I could see that.
but it's just as like it has that much history than the cumbia. I mean, than the salsa and the merengue and all them. You know, so I know what they mean. Don't get me wrong, because I can see the difference when you dance in it. But at the same time, it changed to what it was before because it used to be more formal and coordinated. Because everything is about the dancing is the same thing, right? A dude trying to get with a girl.
Yeah.
Whether it's cumbia or bachata, whatever. But I see the difference. But I see what they're saying on my salsa people, but I don't see what they're saying at the same time because their history is just so deep from the same roots. It just became a different type of sound, and it's for the same. They're dancing for the same reason. You're trying to get with each other. You know what I mean? But I don't like that. And there's a guy that did a video about talking about the cumbia just for black people and things like that. What the native, like the slaves back in the days, and the Spaniards didn't like that because they didn't want them to be happy or whatever the case may be. But that's just again, it's so rich. Like cumbia is so rich as far as history when it came, and it just serves the same purpose. And I don't understand why it just can't get along. Whenever you go to a club, a salsa club, and a bachata club, or they mostly play them two. When they throw cumbia, oh bro, it's like a big old deal. Like everybody looking at the DJ, like he lost his mind.
Yeah, I've seen that.
You seen that?
Yeah.
Why? It's so much rich. I
It's
understand
just like two
that
different.
But one of them, like for me, cumbia, is like more like it's like salsa. Sometimes it's too serious, unless you really know how to dance it and
Yeah,
and
you have
invest
to
time.
know how to dance it.
And then cumbia, you can just freestyle it and be happy that you're there, enjoying the drink, and just enjoy the music. For what it
Cumbia
is.
is probably one of the few, probably the only genre where I've seen people where you can just walk, literally just walk
Yeah.
with them. You don't have to know how these turns.
And why has it got to
the
be so hard and
splits all
complicated?
this.
If you just want to enjoy the music and the band or whatever and just dance or do a little freestyle move, why does it have to be so structured? And I get it that it's nice, but it's not like a competition. It's not like salsa contest type. If you go there, yeah, I get it, but it's not the same thing. It's not that serious. Again,
You tell them that.
problems. First world problems. Worrying about playing salsa.
Be like, you like salsa? You like
Playing
cumbia?
cumbia
No,
in a place that they play
I'm
salsa.
bachata only.
Yeah, exactly. and then that's another one I'm gonna do that one of these days too because I like bachata. But the origin is almost the same thing. I almost guarantee it's gonna be almost similar to this. The same elements, African, whether you want it or not, however you want to call it. Same thing for salsa, and European because they brought some of the instruments. In fact, Europeans, they say they're the ones that actually added the lyrics. They contributed to that because it used to be just playing instruments and kind of just freestyled it, but they added the lyrics. And then of course you have your indigenous type of vibe too with it. It's all the same three elements. For salsa, it's been the same thing we talked about before. It's almost the same thing. If you haven't seen the episode about salsa, go check it out. It's like I'm repeating myself, but with cumbia because it's almost the same exact thing. It's crazy, right? Yeah. So it's been more. Now you have your vallenatos, and now you have your more like tecno cumbia type. Now you have your what was the other kind? Sonidero. Oh, you have so many other kinds of. So it's not going away. Like cumbia is not going away. No matter how you discourage, don't like it, do that.
Yeah, it's still kind of like old school.
Yeah. And
And it's
then okay. Not only that, but you have your old school cats that like Sonora Dinamita and things like that that give the stink eye to the more like the Gavilan type. They just doing all these stupid moves. Well, not stupid, but just the way to express yourself in the dance floor. Do what you want. Like I don't see nothing wrong with it. But again, people are just weird. We're so fucking excuse the language. We're so freaking strange. Cut this part, but we are so freaking strange. I've been on one today. I've been cussing a lot, but I don't know why.
You're gonna
We're
bleep you
so
out.
freaking strange that we are like being racist toward. Okay, so do you know about crows or crows and things like that? Like how they really like They're super
they're
smart.
like a bad sign also.
They're not kind
Like,
of. People
it's just
see it
a
like that,
bird.
but they're smart. They're beyond smart.
Oh,
Do you
really?
know that if you try to throw a rock at him, of one of them, he'll forever remember your face?
No.
Look it up. Google it.
I'll be right back.
Yep.
I'm gonna go try that real quick.
And not only that, but they're super smart. You give them a task, and they'll be able to, and give them some like let's say get this pebble or this whatever they eat out of here, and give them like a stick or something. They find a way to get it out. Like they're super smart. And they whenever one of their people died, their bird friends died, they mourn a certain way. They
Aw.
do.
What do they do?
They make the sound. Yeah, whenever they die. So, for whatever reason, we don't like the birds because some of the things they do are very similar to the way that we act as people. You know what I mean? So, the same way that a lot of people are somewhat discriminated against cumbia, which is just a dance and a sound, it's just the same way that we be like disliking people being prejudiced against us because we technically do the same thing. Like we literally do the same thing within our culture. People don't know Spanish.
Oh, don't
You know what I
even get
mean?
me started.
But I'm just saying, again, some people wasn't an option to learn Spanish or not, whatever. But still, we give them that stink eye that like, oh, you don't know Spanish, you man. You know what I mean? So we expect other people not to be prejudiced, racist against us, but we be doing the same thing. So it's like the crow thing. We don't like him because he's so much like us
Yeah.
that we just like, we don't like you, but we
It's
just
always
like you.
something.
We don't like you, but we just like you. We're like just like you. We like do certain things like you, but we don't want it. So I think we got to be better because otherwise you'll be a hypocrite like myself sometimes that you'll be like, yeah, I don't like that, but don't do it to me though, because then I don't like it. But I can do it to somebody else with cumbia because it sounds more lower tier. But yeah, I don't like that either.
I love cumbia.
I do. I enjoy cumbia. I don't know. I you know what I have the most difficult with cumbia is
What?
the turns. I can do the regular I can do the regular one too, or just freestyle sometimes and go. But sometimes I just can't do it. And I need to go back to practice on salsa because I haven't salsa in a long time, and I think I'm starting to forget. I used to learn a little bit. I learned enough, but now I forgot it. And bachata though, but bachata.
Bachata's easy.
I still get down. It depends.
Just 2 steps.
It's 3 steps. It's 3 steps. No, you do it with the kick. See, that's the people that like bachata.
That's
They know
the end
about
of the
bachata.
step.
Okay, but it's still a step. Believe me, it's 3. I know it's 3.
Okay, it's 3.
But I'm saying the people that like practice bachata, if you see you doing it, you'll be like, you know what I mean? They give you the stink eye too because it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Not only that, but one of my friends was telling me, one of the persons that I know, I don't got no friends. I just got acquaintances. Got a bunch of people I know. Anyways, she was telling me now they do, as long as you stay one beat, you can even do whatever you want, like with your foot, as long as you stay on the 3 count, which is, it's a 3 count. Believe me, it's a 3 count. But if you stay within, as long as you stay within beat, you can do it like, even if you go like this and you twin, you do all kinds of weird stuff with your feet, doesn't matter. But as long as you're on step, you're good. That's crazy. I didn't know that. I think it's like a recent thing. Maybe I'm behind.
You know, I have a gig tomorrow and they want me to play bachata. So
Really?
I'm going to check that out, see what they do.
So they want you to play just straight up bachata? Mostly?
A lot of bachata.
A lot of bachata?
Yeah.
Okay, check out their steps. Watch. If they know, they'll do the 3 steps
I'm
only.
sure they know because they love bachata.
If they, not saying that you don't know, but if you do that 1, 2 with the little kick, that's like not the ideal one. But if they start doing all the weird stuff and they still on step, they're on like another level of bachata. I'm telling you.
Can't wait to see.
Trust me, I don't lie. I always tell the truth. You don't want to lie.
Your nose grew a little bit.
No, I did not. Okay. Anything else? Any final thoughts regarding anything that we talked about. La Llorona, el CATRIN, el Guillermo del Toro. What movie you gonna watch next for him?
Mama.
Let's support it. Mama?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
love being scared.
And what about Cumbia? Anything in Cumbia?
Just gonna keep playing it every gig. That's one thing I always do.
Right?
Yeah.
It never fails. They love it.
I mix it with like hip hop and
Wapango too. Wapango. Well, it depends on what area. And then there's different Wapangos for what areas of Mexico there is. There's Tierra Caliente Wapango, which is not the same thing as regular Wapango. Believe me.
it's not.
It's not. And the people
What's the
will tell you.
difference?
It sounds more like the Wapango that people enjoy is more like electronic than the one that the people from Tierra Caliente dance, which is specific. Like a more like a not native, I could say, but more like a regional sound, kind of.
Like, is it like more clean
Not really.
or clear?
I guess not necessarily clear, but more simple, and it's not so much. Again, not so much electronic sounds. More of like
So you use like more
tambor.
natural sounds.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. And it's, believe me, the Tierra Caliente people would know, and they know the artists. And I heard it before. They told some of us when I was with the DJ. I'm like, what? Who are these people? And I swear he had to look it up because he knew some, but he didn't know all of them. But they have some strange, like different type of artists compared to like regular Wapango, which is not the same from Tierra Caliente. I guarantee you it's not. All right. So that's pretty much all we have. You said any final thoughts?
I'm just gonna stay out of La Llorona's way. Definitely.
For real. What about what can they find you at? Social media.
They can find me on Instagram, DJ_Vira, or Facebook, DJ
All right.
Vira. Only have those two.
Make sure you go like the Global Land Factor podcast. You can also go to the website and check it out. And I think I'm going to send my website also to Fishbowl so they can plug us in so we can all enjoy the love. And yeah, that's that. All right. So again, we are just like you. We're just people. We're just the spice in this global melting pot that it is the world. We'll see you next time.
Adios.
Todos en este país.